Oops. Hi, folks. How are you? Hopefully, you're having a great day. My name's Amanda with Simply Flamazing Art and the Creative Course Collab. And I am here for 20 minutes of paint with me. And that is based on the rule of 100 hours, which says if you do something for 18 minutes a day, you'll be 95% better than anyone in your field. I say if we do something for 20 minutes a day, because we do this typically Monday through Friday, that we'll be 95% better than when we started. So I'm going to go ahead, get my timer going here, turn us down, and get us started on what we are doing. We are working on, this is the inspiration. It was a thing that came up on my Facebook about the Van Gogh immersive experience. And I just love the colors in this so much that I felt like this would be great inspiration for a painting. And so I'm going to get us turned down. I am working on a 16 by 20 canvas because I do paint parties locally, and this will become a future paint party. So when you hop on, say hi. Tell me that you are here. Hold on, I've got to get my brush a little cleaned out. I finally got my water bin cleaned out yesterday. It gotten so bad it was just not cleaning my brushes. So let me do a little repair on this brush here. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Brenda. Good to see you. Good to see you. How are you doing on this Wednesday, the 19th? Anybody got any plans? Tomorrow was hey, D. Tomorrow is the first day of spring. I know we got people cleaning up yards, and I think some people planting or have been planting. What you got going on? Planting bulbs and stuff. Oh, this brush is going to need some major work. Anyway, y'all, I'm hard on my brushes. Don't be hard on your brushes like I'm hard on my brushes, okay? So we're going to get started. I'm going to go ahead and get this. I got a big old one of my hairs on here. That's my hair. That's not Kai's hair. That's one of my hairs. It's like, wow, that's big. I'm going to go ahead and get us started. Gonna turn that down. We're gonna, I'm gonna go ahead and get us started. I'm trying to finish painting. Oh, Friends for Life. Oh, cool. I want to see a picture. I want to see a picture of Friends for Life. I love that. I love it. I'm gonna add some blue here. I think I want this light blue. I think is what I want. I think that'll go nice with the other colors that I've got going on in here. And so we're going to get I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this color, and I'm just going to paint the vase. And I'm just going to paint right over top of those petals there, okay? I'm not going to paint around them because truly, like, this would be the first part. Anyway, when I go to teach this will be the first part I'm going to have them do after the background. I kind of got excited and got ahead of myself a little bit, but y'all know I do that, right? I can get excited and get ahead of myself just a little bit. It's going to be a while. That's all right. It can be a while. Sometimes it takes a minute. Playing with your grandson. Oh, fun, fun, fun. Fun, fun, fun. So that's a pretty big vase. Now it's not gonna be this, well, I mean, it's gonna be this color, obviously, but there's gonna be lots of other colors in here too. So this is just the base color, kind of. We're gonna do a lot of cover up on this, okay? So I want this to get good and dry before I go and add anything else to it. So I wanted to get that first. I mean, it's almost the weekend. So anybody got any fun plans for the weekend? I know I had some yellow, I had some orange out, and I had a little red out, and we were working on our sunflowers. I'm going to go back and I'm going to hit them again because where I put this green in, you know, yellow bleeds through really bad. So I want to make sure I take that into account, or I shouldn't say bleeds through. You can see through it. So I want to do another pass and just see, like, do I get what I want, or am I still seeing green? And if I'm still seeing green, I will probably add a little white to that. I'll come back on that side. Because it was kind of like after I did that, I was like, oh, I probably should not have done that. But me and my impulsiveness of wanting to, getting excited, kind of did me in there. I want these to be, you know, like his, right? So not the big little, not the big leaves, but the smaller leaves, and kind of just go in all kind of different directions, right? And so, you know, they're like twisty and turny and all of that. Again, I'm not worried about the centers. I'll come back and fix those centers. I just needed the like reference point for those centers. And so I actually kind of like I kind of like how this layer is going on top, even though you can see through the layer below. I kind of actually like that effect a lot. So one of those like little happy accidents there, I guess you can say, because I'm liking that a whole lot. We'll see the difference when I put this one on, where these are so much brighter, but maybe that's actually a good thing too. And if it is, we'll incorporate that into the my instructions, because I kind of like it. Again, I'm picking up a little bit of that orange as I'm reloading my brush. I gotta decide if this flower is going to be behind that one or what's going to be on top, right? So I think this is going to be behind this one. So I don't want to go over top of these. And in fact, I'm going to come back and make sure like it is clear which one is on top. Oh, I'm loving that. All right, now let's work on those centers just a little bit. It's okay that I've got this orange in my, or this yellow in my brush. And it's okay that I've got some of the orange. I'm going to go into that red. And I'm just going to kind of go over top, right? So this is why I wasn't really worried about haven't overlapped them because I knew I could just come in and go right over top of that and set those the way I wanted to set them, right? And so that in fact is fine. And then we're going to put in, I want a little orange in there, and then I want that yellow to come back in there a little bit. And then we're going to put even more. I'm going to rinse my brush out. Anybody got any fun plans for the weekend? I'm going to add some yellow in there. And I'm probably going to let that dry and then come back and even add a little more yellow on top of that. But for right now, I'm going to add some green. And I think I had this Hauser green and I used a little black with it. I'm going to use a little bit of that. In fact, let me keep the colors I'm using separate so that way when I write down my colors, I will know which ones I used on this. Not you. I don't really have any plans this weekend either. I don't think I'm doing anything too much. So I'm going to use a little red with my green here that I put on my brush. Only because I want a darker red. And you know, green and red will give you a darker red, right? And then I'm just going to kind of come in kind of right where those centers are meeting the petals and give it a little bit darkness there. Y'all, if y'all can hear Kai barking, I don't know if you can, but if you can, the UPS truck just went to my neighbor's house. And so he's like all over it up there. Okay. That gave a little more depth into our centers. And now we're going to let all of that dry. And now let's put on some of our other pretty flowers that we have planned to put on. I'm going to actually use a little leaf green for a brighter green. And we're going to work on some of these ones that we've got like coming out like this while we can still get them in. Right? And so just going to kind of give me a little base to work with, right? You need a little base to work your flower. Okay, it's like this is okay. That's all we need to do for our base of our flower. And then we can work our petals and then we'll come back and add more green, right? And so we're working on the flowers that are like this, kind of sitting out here, right? And so we want those, again, we're going to load those yellows, a little touch of red, that same thing we did. And we're going to create our petals going in the way we want them to go. And so, you know, we're just gonna just make up the flower as you think it is, right? And so we're going to do it like that. And then I'm going to pick up just the yellow and I'm going to come on here and we're going to give it some petals. That are like out like that. I want to put that darker color kind of like in this middle section here. And so I'm going to pick up a little bit of this that I made and I'm going to just plop it in here. I may come back with some brown, but I really don't want brown. I kind of want like this deeper red color. So the problem is that for a paint party, it's hard to get people to mix the color, you know, and get it the right color. But anyway, they usually figure it out. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. And it's just a little peep of it in there. We'll come back on top of that and give some brighter colors in there. I think I used this color. Yeah. That is not the color I used. Y'all are quiet today. Y'all are usually quiet anyway, but especially quiet today. I love that one. And now we're going to do the same thing with this. But this is going to be a little more turned away from us, right? So we're not going to see a center in this one. We're just going to create kind of, it's more tilted down, right? So we're going to create it like that. And then this one is even more so tilted down. We're just going to put that there, and I'm going to grab a little bit of orange and just work in a little orange. You can always do one color and then grab the other color and just kind of go in and work in the other color and give it a little more layers. Or you can pick up both colors at the same time and do it that way. Either way works pretty well. So, and now we're going to come in with some greens and have some more fun. How are you liking this so far? Hopefully you're liking it. I'm going to take both of those greens I've been using and just kind of mix them. And then we're going to do some wild, like, little leaves coming out from them, right? I'm glad, Dee. Oh, Brenda, that's because it is. You just push your strokes. You just hit the brush. Use that brush like a pencil or a pen. Use it on that chisel edge and just, it doesn't matter. You don't have to fret. This is the painting that, like, you don't have to fret about like how your little leaves are turned at all, how the little petals are turned. And you just, and it's done. This is like the least stressful painting that there is. And so, because nothing has to be perfect and nothing has to be exact, right? It's not needed. So anyway, while I've got these colors out, I'm going to just add I'm going to add all of the colors that I'm going to use up in here into here. I don't want to cover it all, but I'm just going to start to grab these colors and just put them in our base here. And so it doesn't matter. I'm not being particular about where I put anything. I'm just kind of like picking a spot and being like, that's going to be a good spot to have that color. That's all I'm doing. And so if you kind of think about the color that you're putting on and the fact that you're putting it on top of this color, you know, that may guide you a little bit. So like this red, it's going to be, you know, coming in kind of dark, right? So maybe put that on the darker side of your vase, and, you know, where it's a little bit darker. Because it's going to naturally darken. And in the end, we're going to I'm just going to get this part done in here. I'm going to go over that with our thing, but I just want to kind of darken this rim up in here because that's going to be a dark spot, right? And so I'm just allowing this blue and this red to work and give me that little like darker purple shadow color. I want to be careful though that I don't put red to red, right? And so like if I have this whole side red and this whole side red, it's going to read as that color vase. I really don't want it to read as any one color vase. So I want to make sure I don't have it going all the way from side to side this color, or it's going to read that color vase regardless of how many other colors I have in there. I don't want it to do that. Small, but my favorite. Hey, Linda. What's small? Maybe the picture looks small. This is actually a 16 by 20 painting. The canvas is a 16 by 20, so it's not small, but I'm glad it's one of your favorites. By rounding, do you mean the shape of the strokes? No, I mean so if you're talking about making this look round, it's how you put the lights and darks to get the roundness. So we now have a darker side going here, and this is going to naturally become our lighter side over here. but our brightest side is yet to come in, and that's going to be in this middle. And once we put that brighter side here in this center area, our base is all of a sudden going to appear rounded. Right now it looks very flat because even though we have a little darker side here, we don't, and we have a little bit of a darker side here, we don't have the true rounding rules in play because we don't have any of that brighter section. So once we have that brighter section here, this is going to pull forward. These are going to naturally push back due to their darkness, and it's going to look like it's now rounded. And so that's how we get that rounded look. Now tomorrow, I don't know if I'll be live tomorrow or not. I may have to go into the office. We'll see. But we're going to start working in all of the other flowers. So all of these pink flowers and stuff, and maybe some purple flowers or bluish purple flowers in here. At the end of the day, I don't want it to look Valentine-y. I want it to look more like Mother's Day-ish painting. So anyway, but I want to bring in those pinks and get those pinks in with their yellows and oranges and pinks. I mean, and reds, not pinks. Anyway, y'all have a great rest of your day. I hope you'll be able to join me tomorrow or Friday if I'm not live tomorrow. I've got to check my calendar and see what I have going on. But here we are. So hopefully you'll come back and we'll get in our table and all of that and finish this up. We won't finish it on tomorrow or Friday, but maybe if I have both days, we will. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, have a great rest of your Wednesday. I hope you have some awesome plans for the day. If not, make something awesome, and y'all have a great day. Bye. Going home, need a nap. I can understand that, Cindy. Y'all have a good one. Bye.